Hey everybody, welcome back to Scrog School, episode number 2 of season number 5, Apprentice Edition. Thank you all so much for being here tonight, really appreciate it. And in this episode, we will be talking about Scrog frames and screens, because with the Scrog frame, you got to put a screen on top of that frame. So, pack your bongs, grab your joints, sit back, and enjoy the episode. Okay, so first, grab this Scrog frame here. Scrog frames. Why we use Scrog frames? We're going to talk about the differences with Scrog frame to a trellis frame. There's a few differences. The differences between Scrog frames and trellis frames is basically like hole spacing, hole size, the height of the frame plays a big role. So one of the things off the bat is the height off your plant that you want to have your Scrog frames. So I just want to pan down the camera a little bit. Okay, so with my Scrog frames, the height that I want to be is around 4 to say 6 inches, sometimes it's 4 to 8 inches off the top of the pot. So here's the top of my pot. This is like obviously this is just a little miniature model of a Scrog frame. This isn't really how it is, but I can still do a good demonstration with it, right? So you're looking for 4 to 6 inches out the top of your pot. Sometimes I go lower, sometimes I go 3 inches. That all depends on like your stage of growing. But what a short Scrog frame does, having your pot say 3 or 4 inches off the top of having your frame this far off 4 inches at the top of your pot, what that does is that's going to shorten your veg time. Because if you think about it, your plant is going to grow tall, but you're going to be tucking the whole time underneath your screen. So that's going to shorten the veg time because your plant is going to fill this screen quicker because now your screen is closer to the base of the top of the pot. If your screen was way up here, you would have to wait this long in veg for the plant to even reach the screen, okay? So that's why I keep my screens low for the most part. It's because my plants are going to hit that screen a lot sooner than later. And that's what we want. Another thing, hole screen size. So the hole size of your Scrog frame, that is like, that's a huge thing right there, right? It makes a big difference, the size of your Scrog holes. So what I do is I like to go 2.5 to say 3.5 hole size on my Scrog frames. And how I do this is I just screw in, say 3, 6, 9, 12, so just 3 separations on my screws all the way around my Scrog frame. And that's what's going to make my hole sizing, right? Hole sizing matters when the plants get big and you want to tuck your plants. If your hole screens are too big, you're going to have to wait a long time for your plant to come through and then tuck it. By that time, the plant's will be coming, the branches will be becoming mature. So as long as they grow here, they're getting older and getting older, right? So they're maturing. So that means they're going to get stronger. So if you have to now bend that over, there's more risk of breaking it. Also, if it grows so tall, so long, all these nodes that are coming off the side of this branch, they're all going to start forming to grow along the branch. They're not going to like start forming out. So when you tuck it, all those little branches down low, they start standing up almost right away. They all start standing up. That's what you want. You want them to stand up right away so they become mature branches. If you wait too long, it doesn't become like, it kind of becomes just sloppy because those branches are already forming to grow sideways or straight up, if you know what I'm trying to say there. Okay. There's all different types of Scrog frames and Scrog screens. You can like have your Scrog frame on the floor like I do a lot of the time. You can have Scrog frames that are on, say, a platform. So if you're in a wheelchair and you don't have access to like crawl on the floor because you're kind of in a wheelchair, you know what I mean? You can wheel around, pull up to your platform Scrog frame, and then you can start tucking because you'll be sitting there right at your screen height. We're just pulling up a video to kind of show you a few examples of of a Scrog frame. Platform Scrog frames, different Scrog frames that I've trained throughout the years, really.
You can have a
So this one
platform
was in a
adjustable.
tent actually, and that was a big Scrog frame. So that's an 8x4 tent. So I built an 8x4 long Scrog frame in there, and it's all on the platform. I just built it all into a table basically, and then it's all 4x4 Scrog frames. This is how I did it. It's so simple. I even used that stuff right there to slide my pipe up and down to adjust the height of my screen. It was actually pretty handy. That was an awesome frame that I built right there. See how I'm doing it? And just like pushing down on both sides, and you can adjust the level of your screen to get the distance off the top of your pot that you want, right? Because you gotta be a certain distance. But sometimes if your plants are really strong and healthy, you might want your screen, because if you like wait too long before you put your screen on, your plants will become really big and tall, and sometimes you can't wrestle that screen down all the way, like on top of plants. They're breaking them too much. That's why I like to put my screens on when my plants are relatively young still. So in a couple of weeks from now, I'm going to be applying my screens to these plants right here that I just transplanted just late last night. Ryan came over and we did a big transplant in this room. I probably transplanted like 10 plants. That's all for the next episode, is transplanting, first early training. And we'll also be doing like a little feeding demonstration with my Athena nutrients on the next episode as well. But with this episode, we're all about Scrog frames. So hole sizing is key. Platform Scrogs are nice to have if you have a bad back and you can't get low. I don't know why I continue to do it on the floor. I just love to have a low Scrog frame. I guess my living soil beds, they're kind of up off the floor, but I just love seeing it on the floor because my plants only ever get like this tall off the screen at the most normally. So it just looks cool, super low like that. I also have a 4x4 AC Infinity tent on the way. We're going to put a Scrog in there and get the AI controller all set up in that tent as well. So I have a bunch of plants in here. I even have plants still in my bud cups that I need to transplant. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on in here. So back to the Scrog frames. We got platform Scrogs. Something that's really important that people ask me a lot about is, Troy, what kind of string do you use? What kind of twine do you use on your frames? So right here on this screen, this right here is masonry twine. I like masonry twine the most, basically because it doesn't come unthreaded. You know what I mean? It all stays nice together. The threads don't come out. It's pretty strong stuff. It's really cheap, and there's a lot of it. So I just find that it's the best for me to go with. There's a whole bunch of different colors now. You can get green ones, pink ones, red ones, blue ones, whatever kind of color Scrog frame you want, you can get these days. It's kind of cool. People like also use hemp twine. Hemp twine's fine, but it has a lot of frays on hemp twine. So when you're tucking your plants and later on in late veg, it starts to slowly break down because it's hemp. And you'll see a bunch of like frays coming off it, and sometimes it gets into your buds because your bud will grow into one of those little fray hairs, and it'll just like eat it up, right? So people will think there's hairs in your bud, but you know that it's just hemp. So it's okay to smoke the hemp, obviously, but I just kind of stay away from that. Mainly because like many years ago there wasn't hemp twine. There was twine like that, but it was like actual rope material. It wasn't. There still is. You can still go buy it. It's not hemp, and you don't want to smoke it. You don't want to get it in your buds and stuff like that. So I just stayed away from that kind of material altogether that shows frays in it, right? I just stayed away from that. Masonry twine has been good to me. I really enjoy it. Going on that, some people like to use rigid screens. So a screen that's rigid. So say that orange fencing that you see. I remember that I used to work on construction sites, and I used to drive down the highway or be in a construction site and see that orange fencing, and my first instinct when I first saw it is, look at the Scrog screen. That is just like a Scrog screen. Like I thought it lots of times in my life, right? But then I would think like it's never like just nice and skinny like this. We can see through it. There's always thickness to it, thickness between the holes. So I was like, okay, that'd be a little bit of a pain in the butt trying to tuck my branches, and then some of the nodes are just stuck underneath that plasticky half-inch lip that's in between each hole. Or some of them aren't like that. Some of them are actually screened kind of like this, but the hole spacing is a little bit bigger than the 3-inch. But also going to harvest the smaller stuff, when it's all built in together, that just becomes a pain in the butt to harvest, because then you got to cut the plant all out of that stuff. You can't just cut 2 sides of your Scrog frame and then pull the screens out. It's not going to happen that way. Okay, so we're going right into the Scrog screen, like in depth. So hopefully you guys are all kind of buckled in and prepared for this, because I had a lot of questions about all this stuff throughout the last few weeks. People knew that I was building, or I was going to show you how to do Scrog screens, and like I'm surprised that I was even doing Scrog School for like five seasons now, and like it's pretty cool that like every season there's a whole bunch of new people, a big flux, and like a whole bunch of new people come, and they come to my socials and they start asking me, inboxing me questions. So it makes me think like, okay, this is what I need to talk about. So sorry about all the veterans that are in here, all the veteran Scroggers. You guys have heard this a lot. So, but I'm here for the new people as well, and that's the most important, is like just teaching everyone how to Scrog. So the most important part is the Scrog frame. It's really important. Okay, Dirty Dog, what's up, man? Scrog School is the best show, and Troy is the best growing instructor from AC Infinity. Hey, thank you, man, so much. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. But yeah, so we're on to tees. Tees, as in, I mean on the top of my screen, these 4 corners. This frame, I don't have them because this is a 3/4 inch Scrog frame. I only have those tees as 1 inch diameter pipe. So this one, I just have the old school kind of tees on it. But as in, if we go to a different camera, I'll show you what I'm talking about as in the 4-way tee. So on one of these screens, actually, even if you hide that, Teddy is the apprentice. Okay, yeah, that one right there, that's a 4-way tee. So if you look at it, you see that it has an opening I can fit more pipe in there if I want to. I can slide in another section, because sometimes if you say you go away, or if your plants all of a sudden stretch a whole bunch during that last few final days of tucking, and you can't tuck no more because your screen is full, and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? My screen is full, my plants are still stretching and growing up. You can just slide in a few more pieces of pipe, build another screen on top, but you don't have to put in like a whole 3x3 layout like this. All you got to do is put in, like, say now you'd put in like a 4x4 or a 5x5 hole sizing screen, because there's only going to be a few runoffs that come off the top of this plant, right? It's not going to be like every single bud. So you don't need to build out the all-out 3x3 Scrog frame. You can just probably put in like 4.5, and then that could be your top section to catch the big runoff buds that are going to come up. There'd probably be like, say, 20 of them. If you fill up like a 4x4 Scrog, you're gonna 4x4 Scrog is going to give you like probably 50 to 60 colas. But some of those colas could potentially run high, and then you'll be using the 4-way tees to capture those. So best advice for you is to build your screens with 1 inch pipe. There's a cheap material that is PVC, and it's a really low schedule rating. So like it's like $9 a length. In a few minutes here, I'm going to show you guys a video, because I went over to Ryan's house and I built a Scrog frame with him. It's pretty interesting because at Ryan's house, he has a lot of small spaces to work in. So like it gets tricky building Scrog frames and trying to film and everything, but it is fun. It is a challenge. I love a challenge. So I have a video for you guys in a few minutes just to show you guys pretty much what I'm talking about. But I kind of want to explain a few things before we show that video, just so you guys have kind of like an idea when you go into the video. You're like, oh, that's what he meant by this and that. Okay, so we got the tees covered. Let's go into a full frame. This is basically, now we're talking about growing in tents, scrogging in a tent. So a lot of people don't use a full frame Scrog to Scrog in a tent. They'll just use a top trellis. The reason why I don't like to use a top trellis in a tent, I like to use a full frame, is because now my frame is sturdy. This thing is super strong. If I bump it, if I do anything wrong, it's not going to slide down 4 inches. It's not going to get pushed up by my plants. You know, it's like, it's here, man. It's going to stay there. Sometimes I got to put like weight on the bottom of it. Like I'll put like a dumbbell right on my leg right here just to hold it down, because sometimes your plants do get strong and they'll start lifting up that screen. But for the most part, I like to build a frame all around my top of my screen. So even in tents, I know a lot of people like to put it on from pole to pole and just have it stretched out on your poles. I kind of classify that more of a trellis grow, unless you have like super small Scrog holes and you have that thing tight, 6 inches off the top of your pot and you're like scrogged it out from veg, and yeah, that's a scrog. But mostly the ones that you see in tents, they're kind of like high, big hole spacing, and they're just not really a true scrog. It's a nice trellis grow. And there's no right or wrong to growing. Just like in the thumbnail, I had a few people say like, yo man, I don't scrog, my plants are nice. Yeah, the thumbnail doesn't indicate that like scrogging is the best way. It's just a fun piece that AC Infinity makes our thumbnails. So that they just have fun with it, making our thumbnails, making me look strong in that tool suit. I'm not that strong, but it looks good. You know, I like the thumbnails, they are fun. But by any means, scrogging is a preference. You prefer the way that maybe you grow, or maybe that's not a scrogging method, and that's perfect, man. Scrogging is not better than what you do, and yours isn't better than scrogging. It's growing is all a preference on what you prefer, and I prefer to scrog, and like sometimes I don't scrog. So I'm in this 4x4 tent that's coming. I might not scrog in it. I just might do a really nice training on my plants in there and just keep them nice and short and just open them up. Just have fun with it that way, right? I want to mostly dial in like the AI controller and all this stuff to make a nice 4x4 grow situation, kind of like what we're doing at Ryan's house right now. Okay, Bud Trainer, what's up? Hope everyone's having a great evening. Thank you, you guys too. All right, so that is my take on pretty much having like a full scrog frame compared to just the top in your tent that you can like lower and raise. And I just find that it's a bit too tricky that way to like keep an eye on everything, right? Keep an eye on the height of your frame. Like I see that people with those kind of setups that they kind of like raise it a lot. As the plant grows, they're kind of raising those trellises up inside their tents. With this, you're not raising it. You can't move your plants. Once your plants start growing into the screen, it doesn't go anywhere. You need to think of ways to collect runoff. You got to do all that stuff because you're not just gonna lift the screen up and like check your runoff. Once that's in there, it's in there. So that's something that people just don't like about growing scrogs, because they like to move their plants around and grab the pot and walk it over here. Okay. We talked about easy harvest. Okay, so that's good. I think we're pretty much done talking about this stuff. I should probably show you guys the video. But we also have a couple giveaways coming up. During this video, I'm going to let you guys start tagging in ACI in the live comments. During this episode, we're going to be giving away 2 of the, it's the CloudForge T3s, the humidifiers. I want to give away humidifiers this episode because it's the time of year when like we're going to start growing in our places again, right? Winter's coming. Winter is a dry season. So I think it'd be useful for a couple people to win a couple humidifiers for their grow spaces, just to keep that humidity up. Because right now I'm pumping humidity in here like crazy, and like, and I know a lot of people are that in the territories that are getting cold now. It's getting dry. So yeah, type in ACI in those comment section for your chance to win humidifier, and then we're going to watch a video of me going over to Ryan's house and building a scrog frame with them. Enjoy it, guys. Thank you. Hey guys, back at Ryan's house. This is a different awesome little, what is this, Ryan? Like a cabin, a shed?
Yeah, a cabin. Bunkhouse sort of play spot for the kids to get away from us in the life. So
we're here to build a scrog frame. I brought everything over with me. We're using 1-inch PVC, which is pretty cheap. This stuff's like $9 for a 10-foot length. And it's kind of light. It's not a real heavy material, so it's a really light schedule. Like sometimes you get schedule 40. This is like small. It's just not heavy duty pipe. It's cheap, but it's 1 inch, which is perfect. So for you to build a scrog frame the way that I do in a 4x4 tent, you're gonna need to buy 4 lengths of this stuff. So I pre-cut everything. All we gotta do is put it together, pick our hole size spacing, put in the holes. We got 3-way tees for the bottom of the frame. This is gonna be on the floor of the tent. Then we got the 4-way tees that are gonna be on the top of the frame, in case Ryan ever has to add a second trellis to his net with his plant stretch. Okay, we got some screws. These are just 1-inch self-tapping screws. So it just makes it easier to screw into the PVC when you have self-tappers. So self-tappers, I mean they have a little drill bit on the end of them. Okay, and you need a drill, tape measure, marker, and that's about it. So, okay Ryan, so first thing we do is build the floor.
Build the base?
Yeah, so you're gonna need 1 T there, or 1 elbow there. And we'll put one on this end. And just because I'm like OCD-ish kinda, we don't want any of the writing showing.
I'm right there with you. Thanks for telling
It's gonna
me.
be all.
I'm glad you pointed that out before I felt it. I'd be screwed.
Alright, so what we need to do is we need to measure to the top of the pot from the floor. But normally I have like a little base on here with wheels. I'm gonna bring them over next time. They are, say, like, we're gonna give a 2-inch leeway. Okay, so on the floor of the tent, say this is the tent we're sitting at, the pots are, say, 11 inches on the floor, plus 2 for the risers that we're going to put underneath, so that's 13. So we're looking at 13 inches altogether, and we want to be, say, let's go 5 inches on top of the pot, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 inches. That's pretty much how I normally do it. So what we need to do is grab those pipes, we need to cut 4 18-inch pieces. So now we just gotta put one of these in each hole. Now we add the 4-way tees.
Oh, you go up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go up, because then if your plans don't stretch
You can do
too
it.
much, you can add another section of pipe to it, which you could save these ones right here for. You save them.
To make a second.
You can add them, and then you can just have another scrog.
Oh, that's cool.
To catch the runoff.
That's pretty awesome.
Okay, so now we just put together the top frame.
Pretty simple.
Oh yeah, it's easier when it's all cut for you.
Yeah, shit. I forgot about that, eh? Yeah.
Scrog frame is done almost. Now we're gonna string it. So, Ryan, do you want to go? I recommend people to use 2.5 to 3.5 full spacing. So you can pick a number between one of those 2.5 or 3.5. I go 3.5 in my room, but you could do. I recommend anyone in between those. So what do you try?
What are we running at? We figured 45, 44. No, let's run at 3.
You want to go 3-inch? Okay. So what I do is I butt the tape right up to that, right up to the elbow there, shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just hit the 3. Put a little dot on the 3. Okay, and then
from there on.
Yeah, and from there on you can go like 3, 6, 9. I can only count to like 15, and then I stop.
Yeah.
Here, I can hold the tape for you on this side.
Yeah, it works a little better that way.
At this stage, people usually just want to like instantly just put it right there and start and do that pipe, right?
Yeah.
But then it kind of throws off these it throws that off if you try to go in one route. So what you got to do now is you got to jump right over to this side, and you got to do the same thing on this side as you did on this side, so the 2 marks all line up. You know what I mean?
Yep, so we're literally mimicking.
Yeah, we're just going to mimic it. Okay, so now that's all done. Now all we gotta do is drill in all these holes, all these screws. Okay, so is this an impact?
No.
Okay.
It's on straight drill. It can impact, but it's on straight drill right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So these are 1-inch self-tapping screws. I'm gonna quickly I know you know what you're doing, but I'm just gonna quickly show you how I do it, just so, because you're gonna do it all. I'm gonna do like 3 for you.
All right.
And then you can tell that there is a little bit of a technique to it. Okay, I'm sure you know because you're a handy guy. Okay, so get it on there, and then you want to put your hand back here and push up for pressure as you're pushing down. And you don't want to go through the pipe, because if you go through the pipe, when you tuck underneath and you're reaching underneath and you're defoliating, you're going to scrape your arms, cut yourself, and just hurt yourself, right? So you don't want the screw bit to go through the pipe. That's why I get 1 inch.
Leaves a 1/4 inch out.
Yeah, leave enough to get a nice wrap of the twine on there. And then you're set, man. So I'll let you have fun with this. I'll do the work for you. I should have brought my drill. We could bang it out together.
It should go pretty quick.
Okay. Just like that. Hit every little black mark, and we're laughing.
Sweet.
We got all the screws in now. One last step is to run the twine. So there is a special way to do this as well. It's kind of weird that you think everything must be super easy, which it is. It's pretty easy, but there's just little tricks that I've learned through doing this a few times. So yeah, let's do the twine. Okay, so I'm just gonna wrap it around here a few times, and it's a normal half hitch. Two of them.
To tie it off with?
Okay, now with this first set of twine is simple. You just let some on the floor, give it 2 wraps, and you don't want to go tight with it, because the tighter you go, you start pushing, the sides will come in. Like all those sides will start pushing in. You don't want to push the sides in. Once you get to the next step, I'll show you. So this is the easiest step. Just back and forth, 2 wraps back this way, 1, 2. I like to use one continuous piece of twine too, so I don't cut much twine.
Yep.
Some people will cut it right now and make like a.
Oh, to start it instead of crossing across the corner there?
Yeah, I just keep it going. Okay, so now that we have all our twine going this way, you want to start going the other way. But when you want to go the other way, it's important for us to weave it now. It's the only time we're going to weave anything. Like, we don't weave our branches when we start scrogging, we only weave this twine. So we're going to go over, under, and just keep on weaving it. Over, under. Wrap it around a few times on the next one. And then make sure you look, that one is over, so I want to go under. And just do that like that. This is what's going to make our screen tight. Because right now the screen's not tight. See that? That's all like just flimsy.
Yeah.
But when you apply this, it makes it actually kind of more firm. When you apply it, when you weave it. Once the plants push up on this screen, that's what makes the screen tight. So I went under, so now I want to go over. I want to do the opposite of your last string. that's it, man. And then now, when the plants come and grow with a plant, they'll push on this. We're gonna fill this screen up, man. Most of the screen with one plant.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So now when the plants come, they push on the screen a little bit.
I'm super excited. Look at that.
Yeah. If I didn't weave it, like if we didn't weave, it'd be so sloppy. And also sometimes when we're tucking a branch, and the branches say like this close to it, like so close, you can just slide it over, and the branch will actually hold it.
Like that.
Yeah, and then the branch will eventually come down and it'll move back to the spot. Then you can slide that one over and catch it.
Yep.
Which is perfect. That's why we do it like this. That's why I don't use like a hard screen or a fixed screen. And then when we want to harvest, all you do is cut down 2 sides of this. Then you just pull on the other 2 sides, and it just slides right out. It never gets caught in buds. Never gets caught up on nothing. You just cut 2 sides, boom, 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 all the way down scissor. Then go to the other side, just pull it. And they all just, it's so nice.
Nice.
Smooth.
That was cool.
All right, let's take it to the 10.
Yeah, this could be, this will be a fun one.
All right, guys, so we got the Scrog frame built. We're just going to take it out of this room. Oh, the shadow. We're going to take it out of this room, and we're going to take it into the other room. And then we're going to put it into the tent. Do a quick little update on Ryan's plants. And then I'm going to show him how I kind of keep my frame. I don't keep the screen on top. I'm just going to explain to him what I do with it in the meantime until we put the frame back on top of the screen. So let's get her in there. Okay, be careful. You have it all.
Yeah, let me pull my light up a bit more. Alright, this thing.
Okay, so Ryan did pre-measure this for me. He says 45 inches. We're gonna be good. So let's see how good Ryan is at measuring.
Oh, if I get
yeah, you might have to step out.
I think we're good.
I think we're good too, man.
I think we're good, hopefully.
I think so. I think you did it. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking bang on, brother.
So, 45 inches.
Bang on.
45
How nice that
inches
looks.
fits in an AC Infinity 4x4.
Yeah, so 45 inches, Ryan said. That's how long from this corner of the frame right to that corner of the frame is 45 inches. This is 1-inch PVC. Yeah, I had it all pre-cut, so this is perfect, man. Yeah, okay, so obviously now we don't leave the screen on. So if you want to take, if we can take off this top screen, then we're gonna store it somewhere. Probably like just to the side here.
Oh, this piece right here.
Yeah, we're taking off that whole top. We just removed the screen off the frame. Now we just have the frame. Why I do this is because now when I train my plants and get them ready for the Scrog, I can judge the height of my plants by these frames. So I know that if my plant gets higher than that frame, then I might be in trouble putting my screen on. But if I put the screen on right when the plants are just getting close to the top of this frame, I put that screen on. And then the plants grow into the screen because I train my plants into the screen. I don't train the screen onto the plants. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do there. We're gonna do an update on Ryan's seedlings here real quick. I'll let Ryan talk a little bit.
So, seedlings I've got here, I got 2 left. Started them in pure cocoa. They're taking a little while, they're stunted. Chatting with Troy after he started his in ProMix HP, a little different than I thought. So I think we're gonna see how these go, and we might have to swap 1 or 2 out.
Yeah.
We're not too sure yet. I didn't realize that, so my mistake.
That's not a mistake.
Something good to learn from.
Yeah, nothing's a mistake. But like what we're gonna do is, you guys seen I have a whole bunch of plants in my room. We're just gonna swap these 2 out. I'm gonna bring them some fresh plants on like probably Monday or Tuesday. And yeah, we're gonna start over. What just happened was I think we just got the heat in here, like that heater in here, and the environments weren't quite as dialed in quite yet. That's why we got the heater here. Plus we're growing in cocoa for like right out of the seedling stage. So I think it was a little bit overwatered, kind of stunted the plants a little bit. So
oh yeah, I'm not the best with seedlings, so I can admit that.
See,
man.
He admits it. He's not the best with seedlings, right?
100%. I admit that all the time.
Yeah, so that's okay. I'm gonna bring you some plants that are perfect stage to transplant. That's gonna be our next time I come visit. We're gonna be doing a transplanting. So
I'm gonna keep going and see what happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ryan's gonna keep on. He's gonna keep growing these and see if they pull through, which they probably will. Like they're not completely dead yet. They're just.
They'll probably end up donating.
Yeah. So with that being said, man, I think everything is pretty close, pretty good in here. See right here, guys. This is the ACI heater coming in. Always. I was happy to come here today and see that Ryan had the heater hose in the bottom of the tent and not sticking out the top of the tent, because if you think about it, heat rises, so the heat, if it was up here, it would come in and it would just sit on the roof. Eventually it might push itself down, but it'll probably get sucked out by that exhaust fan before it does. So you want the heat to come in low and then just roll along the floor and up through your plants, just like humidity. When you bring in a humidifier, you want your humidifier to come in the lower holes. You don't want it to come in the top. Put in right down low. I'm happy to see that. Okay, guys, so that's, we got the, oh, my eyes look really weird right now in this light. I feel like a devil leg or something. But yeah, that's it. We got the frame built now. Everything's going smooth. Ryan's plants got a bit stunted, but that's not the end of the world. We have lots of plants to play with. I have like 15 at my house, so we can keep on playing with the plants. We train them together. We just do a whole bunch of things with the plants that I have, so it's gonna be great, actually. Ryan, thanks so much again, man, for having me over.
Hey, no worries, man.
All right, sweet. I'm on mute. Oh, all right.
Sorry.
Okay, so easy as that. That's how we built the Scrog frame at Ryan's house. It was a bit of a challenge in that small space, but we made do good thing his tent's not on a 5x5, because if it was, we wouldn't have been able to do it there. So what did happen though is Ryan came over to my place last night. We created an awesome transplant video for everyone for our next episode. That's when we transplanted my whole room. I had 15 beautiful plants. You guys will see them in that episode. Beautiful roots in the cups. It was actually really nice. The best roots I ever had in the solo cup. It was pretty cool. And then I sent them home with 3 of them, transplanted plants in 3-gallon pots full of cocoa with their first watering. So now Ryan's taking care of those ones. And then I'm probably gonna go there tomorrow or the next day, and we're gonna start doing the first initial training on the plants. So the next episode is going to be basically about transplanting, the first set of training on the plants, and also a feeding with the Athena Nutrients blended line. Those are going to be pretty much what we're going over next Scrog School episode. People in the chats, what up? Simply Grow Buds, Spanish Dre, what's going on, man? Spanish Casey's probably in here somewhere, I imagine. Who else did I see in here? I saw Joel in here. AC Infinity, shout out. Thank you so much for having me on the channel. Much appreciated. Double A, what's going on? Kevin Quinn, how you doing, man? Cool. Nice to see everyone in here. Thank you so much. If you guys want to leave it in the chats real quick, I appreciate it if you guys let me know where you're from. It's awesome going back to my videos sometimes, scanning through the live chats and just seeing where people are all from, watching around the world, watching Scrog School on the AC Infinity YouTube channel. I think that's pretty neat. So just put in the chats right now where you guys are all watching from. USA, Canada, Sweden, wherever you are. It's pretty cool to see that. So thanks to all so much for being here. Ohio, lots of people from Ohio coming into the show all the time. Sweet, man. Upstate New York, lots of people from the United States. A lot of people from the USA. Germany's taken off huge. I'm getting a big flux of people from Germany coming in, asking me Scrog questions like you wouldn't believe. Germany is like actually like taking their legalization seriously. Like people are starting to grow some really good plants over there. So, Ali, let's run that first giveaway. You gotta do it. You gotta type in ACI right now in the live chats real fast for your chance to get into it. You have 10 seconds to get into this giveaway. Type in ACI in the live chats if you have not. Yeah, don't spam the chats with ACI. If you already typed it in, you're entered for pretty much both giveaways that are gonna be happening with ACI this episode. So you don't gotta type it in twice. But there will be another one coming up later in a few minutes here. We have one Seedsman giveaway, then another AC Infinity giveaway, and that's it. So if you guys have any questions, I know I have a few questions starred here. Just write down, ask me a few Scrog questions. If you have any kind of Scrog related question, it doesn't have to be a Scrog frame. If it's a Scrog question, I'm going to do a quick Q&A as we run these giveaways. And then I'll answer some questions in detail for if you have a Scrogging question for me. All right, let's do it. Good luck, everybody. This is the first giveaway for the humidifier, which is called the CloudForge T3. Perfect for your 4x4 tent system. You need the humidity. Humidity is key for starting your plants for early veg. That's the most important part is humidity, man, because the plants take a lot of moisture from their leaves at that stage for sure. The roots aren't quite established yet in that pot, so they do suck in a lot of the air moisture, which is the humidity. So humidity is key. So these are two key wins. One's for Canna Kev 24. Awesome. I see you a lot in the shows. Congratulations, man. You need to email AC Infinity at AC Infinity or giveaways at acinfinity.com. So I'll repeat that. Giveaways at acinfinity.com. You got to take a screenshot of your main profile of your YouTube, send that with it, and just say you won on season Scrog School episode number 2. Thanks, Canna Kev. Appreciate you, man. All right, so that's the first one. The next one we're gonna do is we're gonna run this one as I go through a few questions, and you just gotta type in Seasman in the comments here. Just type in Seasman. We're gonna run this one quick, and then we have one more ACI one, which you guys already pretty much typed in, so you don't gotta type in ACI again if you already have it typed in. And don't spam the chats. So let's go over a few questions. You want to pop a question up there, Ali? Okay. Trent's got a garden. Awesome, Trent. Good for you, man. Question, Northern Scrogger. What tips do you have for utilizing an elastic Scrog Net? I haven't made it yet. You haven't made it yet. An elastic Scrog Net. Do you know what, man? I wouldn't even do an elastic Scrog Net, only because how flexible and stretchy an elastic Scrog Nets are. I mainly call those trellis nets, man. Trellis screens. They're mainly for support, opening your plants up. I feel like a really important aspect to scrogging is that even canopy, and it's hard to maintain an even canopy when you have a screen that's like elasticy, and like the main stems of your plant, the main strong stalks, they're going to push up in that area of your screen. So this part's going to be low and nice, and this part of the elastic screen is going to be pushed up because that strong plant is pushing up on that section because it's just elastic. So if you have a nice strong screen like I'm using here, it keeps all that stuff at bay and keeps it all level. Later on in Scrog School, you're going to see me use some ropes, and I'm going to tie my screens down, because even my screens, the plants still push up in the center quite a bit, so my screens start kind of looking a little bit like this. So I just tie some string onto the bottom of my Scrog frame or my Scrog screen, and then I pull it down and I tie it to dumbbell weights, and therefore my screen, my canopy now will be pulled down and it starts to come level again. Instead of being looking like this, it comes level again. So that's going to be later on in the series. So yeah, do you know what, man? I just follow and do what I did. I wouldn't use the elastic type at all, to be honest with you. Thanks for your question. I really appreciate it. Hi again in the chat. What's up, man? What's up, Heaven and Neil? How's it going? I don't want to say what's up, man, because Heaven could be there. So how's it going, guys? Thank you so much for jumping in tonight. Much appreciated. All right, sweet. So that answers that question. Thank you so much for your question. Dan, what's up, man? Wait, what's the difference between a Scrog and a trellis? Well, everyone's different, but in my mind, the difference between a Scrog and a trellis is a trellis has bigger hole sizing on it. A trellis is mostly strictly for kind of opening up your branches, spreading the branches out in the grow tent. I wouldn't consider a trellis for horizontal plant growth, because the hole sizing on a trellis is normally a little bit too big to keep on tucking nicely to keep a nice perfect canopy going. So I would use a trellis to like grab this branch and put it in that hole, grab that branch, put it in that hole, and just move around your branches into different holes. That's pretty much what I would use a trellis for. That's what I call the difference between that. And it's not, and once again, I'm going to say this, scrogging is not better than trellis growing, and trellis growing is not better than scrogging. It's a preference thing. So some people prefer to trellis grow because they like to get big, long buds, right? And that's easy to do when you grow in a trellis, because you're just opening up like, say, 8 branches, and they're all just going to grow up to the trellises. Scrogging is like, you're going to be getting like a carpet of buds everywhere, and like you got to maintain that, and sometimes you could lose the maintenance on it, and bad things potentially can happen. But as long as you keep it clean, keep the airflow blowing through everything, then your Scrog's going to turn out really good. And we're going to prove it in this series right here. We're going to teach Ryan how to grow a Scrog for his first time in and he's gonna kill it. All right, so great question. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, do we have any other questions? I think there was a few there. Hi, Jason. What's up? You guys have a favorite genetics? I personally don't. I don't have any favorite genetics. I grow everything, a lot of stuff, a lot of different stuff. I've never been able to find one that's like, oh my God, I want to grow this forever kind of thing. That's never happened for me. I do like gassy. I like it gassy. I like it strong. I do like earthy tones a little bit too. So that's what I basically prefer myself. But yeah, thanks for the question. I appreciate it. Saul, what's up, man? I met Saul in, where were we? Were we in LA? LA at the Growers Gauntlet, man. Cheers. Thank you so much. Nice meeting you over there once again. That was great times. I can't wait to do it again. How do you tighten up the twine once the frame is built? Great question. There is a trick, but normally you don't have to tighten up the twine after you build your Scrog string. You don't normally have to do it at all. But if you do want to give it a little bit of a if you do want to give it like a little bit of a tighten up in, all you gotta do is just grab it like this, and then just spin the pipe with your hand, because they will turn in these tees a bit. Then you just spin each one, just grab them, give them a little bit of a spin, and that tightens them right up. Just turn them a little bit, each pipe. If you have to do that, that's the best way. If it gets really sloppy, then you might have to try to like wrestle and like get another wrap on a screw. Like say like this one string here was like sloppy and I could like have a lot of play in it. I would just try my hardest and like just wrestle it and just try to get another wrap on that screw. But for the most part, you can just grab the pipe and twist it towards yourself, and that's gonna pull the string tighter. So there you go, buddy. That's a pretty easy tip that Ryan and I actually just did earlier on, and Ryan was supposed to remind me to talk about that tip, but he didn't. Remember, Ryan? And I was like, yo, man, make sure I mention that. I'm just kidding. Anyways, Mortiz. Is that right? I don't want to butcher your name, but I think it's Mortiz. Okay, question. Moritz. Okay. Sorry, I suck at names sometimes. Scrogger, at which node do you start your training your plants, and at which day from seed do you start giving nutrients? Best regards from Germany. See, man, Germany. People are going crazy. I should know it already from your name, but yeah, thank you so much from Germany. Much appreciated, much love. You guys keep killing it over there. Okay, so that's a good question. That's a really good question. At which state do I start giving my plants nutrients? So I started my solo cups, my bud cups. I don't start giving any food for the first week and a half, sometimes even 2 weeks, no food. These plants right here, they just got food for their first time yesterday. And they need to be transplanted bad. I just didn't have enough pots or cocoa at the time to do it. But these ones just got their first little bit of food yesterday. And they are, I think, two weeks old now. So honestly, I don't feed my plants at all for the first couple of weeks. I just give them water. This is ProMix HP. There's enough in there just to get them by for that first couple of weeks of life. That's the trick I found with growing is you really got to be careful on the seedling stage, because seedlings don't want much water. They love to dry out. So when I do it with my ProMix, I just like, I put them in, I put the seeds in there. This time they were already germinated. Put the seeds in, get it damp at the start. Then I just wait until that cup is super light. And then I just gave a nice good water and waited like 4 days until that cup was super light again. I only watered them twice throughout those 2 weeks, is basically what I'm saying. I barely applied any water. I let them really search. Those roots just dug around in those cups, and those bud cups, just dug around in there, filling up everything, finding as much water as they can. Pretty much establishing a great root system, which you're going to see in the next episode what they did when Ryan and I are in this room transplanting yesterday. So, okay, and the other part of that question was, yeah, that was feeding, and what was the other part of that question? I think it was just feeding. I think I answered both sides, didn't I? Best regards, when do I start training? Okay, when do I start training my plants? Yeah, so really, I could start training these plants now. I could top a couple. I'm not going to do it right now because I just transplanted them yesterday, so they're kind of a little bit a little bit transplant shock right now. They're not quite happy quite yet. But I'm gonna start training them probably, I say not tomorrow, but the next day. So this weekend I'll be applying the first training on these plants, putting on the bud clips, putting on bud huggers, just bending the plants right over, start opening up the lowers to the light. So I'm gonna say 3 weeks in from germination is when I start doing my first training on my plants. It's really important to train the plants young. You don't want to wait till they're too old to start training. You want to train them early and get those lower branches up. In a few weeks from now, you guys won't even be able to tell which is the top of my plants. You'll be like, I'll show you different camera angles and you'll think like what you're looking at is the top, but the top is going to be on the other side of the plant. Even when I scrog, like at the end, if you look at the top of the scrogs, you're not going to be able to tell where's the top cola. Like you won't be able to see it. Sometimes I don't even top my plants. I just train them, just keep on scrogging, right? So I keep on tucking. I don't even have to top the plant. Sometimes I just top to show people how to top a plant, but you don't have to top them to scrog them. You just keep on tucking. Tucking is almost acts like topping. Okay, sweet. So thanks for your question. I really appreciate it. Keep killing it in Germany. Love it. All right, I think there's a few more questions. Much appreciated, guys. What's up, D-Man? How much hash does Northern Scrogger smoke if Northern Scrogger does smoke hash? How much hash does Northern Scrogger if Northern Scrogger does smoke hash? Northern Scrogger smokes a lot of hash. That's like my main go-to is live rosin. That's what I've been smoking a lot of in the last, I'd say over the past year, is like live rosin. I still smoke joints once in a while. I don't hit the bong too much anymore, but I love hash, man. Hash is like the main thing. Northern Scrogger, how do you get in the water and soil amendments with the Scrog? How do you get into water and soil? How do I water and soil? I'll show you guys all that. I'll show you guys that how I get into the lower pots. That's what you're talking about. How do I get in there? Have you ever done a Scrog on a clone? I have. I have Scrog clones in my life, in my past. I haven't done it in actually quite a few years, to be honest with you, but I'm hoping that seedsmen can start sending their clones to Canada, because I would love to Scrog some of their clones. Scrogging clones is the same as Scrogging seedlings. It's the exact same thing. There's not much difference into it, really, to be honest with you. You're gonna form branches, train your clones. Once you get the roots established, start training all those lower nodes. You're gonna start bringing up branches, start tucking those branches, start tucking branches everywhere, because that's what happens. Once you start growing into a screen, the screen just becomes a bunch of branches that you gotta keep on tucking. And you make your screen, like when you apply this screen, I'll be like moving branches like over here, grab this branch, slide it, bend it over here, grab this branch, bend it over here. I'm gonna form it when I put the screens on, because I don't want all the branches coming this way. I want some branches going that way, some going this way, some all directions. And then eventually I'll be grabbing branches and bending them back towards the center of the screen, because I can't have them all growing away from the center. So a few of those branches that come off under the screen, I'll just grab it, bend it back towards the center of the screen, and keep on tucking it towards the center. That's how you fill the center of the Scrog screens up. But like, again, we'll get into all of this during the Scrog School series. I'll have to teach Ryan all of this stuff. So I'm going to get it all on camera for you guys, and he's going to do it all and just really learn how to Scrog like a master. So I'm excited for him to see all this and actually do all of this. Sweet, guys. So let's do that quick seedsman giveaway. Let's run that. Okay. Sweet. Good luck, everybody. This is probably going to be some of the strains that I'm growing. I think they're still unreleased, but they will be released soon. And it is for Seed 420. Wow, what a coincidence. You just wanted to pack some seeds. Seed, good job, man. Thank you so much for coming to Scrog School tonight. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. You need to email seedsman at competitions@seedsman.com. And you got to take a picture, same as with the ACM fan, you got to take a picture of your profile page of your YouTube and just send that with the email that you send to them. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, I appreciate it. And I appreciate all you guys being in here. Honestly, thank you so much. Where are we going here? Okay, so is that it for the questions, or is there a few more? Because I'll answer some questions if you guys have questions for me. I'm willing to sit here and just answer Scrog questions away, because I love it. I love it. Matthew, what's up, man? do you pull the net when you harvest? Yes. So when I harvest the plants, I come to my screens with scissors and I just cut one side, and then I go to the other side and I cut down this side. And then I put the scissors down and come over here and I just pull the other two sides towards myself, towards the way from the cut end. And it all just slides out so nice. That's another thing I like about masonry twine, is that it doesn't leave the frays. So when you're pulling it through the buds, it doesn't like leave a bunch of hairs in there like hemp twine will. When you're pulling it out, the hemp twine will stick in your buds and stuff. But this stuff just slides right out. It never gets caught up. And the main reason why it doesn't get caught up is because I don't weave my plants into my screen. Like right there with my hand, I just weaved it. I just weaved my hand into the screen. I always tuck my branch and just keep on tucking it. Keep on tucking it under the screen. If I was to weave my branches, it wouldn't pull out like that. It would actually probably get stuck on a few, because I'm telling you, when you weave your branches on a screen, it really disrupts the whole canopy. Like, because that section, you might think, oh yeah, I'll just weave it right here. But in 4 weeks from that weaving point, that stem becomes super strong. It gets a lot thicker and it starts aggressively bending that weave point really hard down. So it looks like you have a crater in your canopy at that weaving point. I've done it. I'm just relaying it to you guys so you don't make that mistake on weaving. There is times, I'm not going to get into it right now, but because I don't want to confuse everyone, but there is like a certain time when you can weave a branch, but we'll talk about that later on in the series if that time comes. I'll just say, okay, this is when you got to weave. And even if it doesn't happen, I'll still explain that later on in the series. Okay, sweet. Thank you so much for your question. I really appreciate it. What point of flower do you stop tucking? That's a really good question. Okay, so I stop tucking in flower like once I see those plants starting to slow down from that stretch phase. So the plants are always going to stretch during flower. When you flip them to flower, right? They're going to do that initial stretch. But you can tell when that stretch really starts to take off, and you can tell when that stretch starts to slow down. If you're always in your grow room and watching your plants every day, like most people do, right? You're always looking in your tent. You're always doing that. So if you're one of those kind of people, you're going to be like, holy, look how big they grew today. Holy, look how big they grew this day. And then, wow, they're kind of slowing down. And look at these little white pistils showing up on the little lower nodes here. And like, it looks like things are changing. Once I see that happening, once I see little white pistils slowly starting to form and the plants are kind of starting to slow down a little bit, I'm gonna tuck the whole screen as level as possible. And then for the remainder of the stretch, which is only like maybe a couple days, they're gonna come up off that screen, and I'm gonna get like 6 to 8 inch colas coming off my screen at that point, because they're always gonna stretch because the buds are gonna start stacking now. But I want to get them under my screen, and I want to stop tucking right when it's a bud at my screen. I don't want like a bunch of stick coming off and then buds. I just want to be like, I want to tuck it right under a node that has little white hairs on it, and then stop tucking. Normally, that's like 10 to 15 days into flower, you're going to stop tucking. That's pretty much how it goes for sure. So thanks for your question. I really appreciate it. Keith, what's up, man? Thank you so much for coming to Scrog School tonight. What's up, man? What's the biggest pot you would recommend for a 2x2 tent? The biggest pot? Well, you can put in the biggest pot you want to put in. It's just like how much do you like what the medium is, how much you want to water. Like if it's cocoa, you could be watering a shit ton because you have such a huge pot that you're gonna have to flush it out a lot. So you just gotta put a lot of water in to flush it out. But if you have a small pot, like me, I'm only using 3-gallon pots, but I'm using cocoa, so like I'm gonna be watering often. That's really a preference thing, man. If you're growing in organic, you might want to grow in like a big pot, like a 30-gallon pot. Set that in there, or a 25-gallon pot if it's organic, right? But for me, with cocoa, I recommend for your tent a 2x2, like a 2-gallon pot. 2-gallon pot, 3-gallon pot at the most, especially if you're in cocoa. If you're gonna scrog with a wicked scrog frame, 2x2 scrog frame, you're laughing, man. You won't be vegging long at all in that size of a tent. They'll be quick. Okay, so what does that bloom stuff do in the background, ACI? What does that bloom stuff do Oh, that's my nutrients. That's the Athena nutrient line. That's what I'll be using this run, is the blended line from Athena. So that's my bloom, my grow. So there's a grow A, grow B. Yeah, so that's all my nutrients in the back wall there. We're going to be getting into that next episode. Yeah, so okay, so what's up? That's it. Roy, what's up, Roy? My dad's name's Roy. My dad's name's Roy, and I'm Troy, and my boy's T-Roy. So Roy, what's up, man? How do you get into water and soil amend with a Scrog? How do you get in? It's easy. You just gotta get low. So you do, surprising enough, with a low Scrog frame, there's still enough height to get in there and work on stuff and amend your soil if you're like really doing a lot of organic stuff, right? Or for me, just putting in the my Athena nutrients into my 2 cocoa plants that I'm gonna have right here. You'll see it. It's actually really easy. I have a sprayer pump. I just fill my sprayer pump, push the wand. I have a wand that goes underneath my frame, and it just waters my plant. It doesn't go super fast or anything, but it works beautiful. And then I just collect my runoff from my little tray, and we're laughing. So it's really easy, and I'm gonna get to all that. Reggie, what's up, man? How's it going, buddy? Montreal has the best poutines in the world. I think he wanted me to say that. What's your medium of choice? To be honest, right now I'm starting to love cocoa. I did cocoa in the last run. I really enjoyed it. It was really simple. You had to water a bit more frequently, but it was just like kind of like what you put in is what you want to kind of get out in the range. It was super easy, man. So I'm kind of preferring cocoa at this time, 100%. Thanks, Reggie, for being here. I appreciate you, buddy. All right, where are we? Okay, sweet. Let's everyone's already in for the ACI giveaway. Because if you're new to the channel, not new to the channel, but if you're new in the chats right now, we're gonna run this last giveaway. And everyone's already in it, so we're probably just gonna give it like 10 seconds, and we're gonna run it. So once again, guys, thank you all for coming in for Scrog School episode number 2, how to build Scrog frames. Thank you for all the veterans that keep coming back and watching this. They're probably like, you guys probably know how to build a Scrog frame with your eyes closed by now, I'm sure. So yeah, thank you so much. Can it Kev, he won again? Oh, I was like, wow, that's pretty slick. All right, let's do it. Good luck, everybody. This is for the Cloud Forge T3 humidifiers to get your guys' grows nice, get a bunch of humidity in your grow room. Michael, awesome. Congratulations, man. You won. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. You need to email AC Infinity at giveaways@acinfinity.com. Take a screenshot of your profile, YouTube profile, and send it that way. Guys, there's one more giveaway in the comment section. This is important. It's a $100 gift card for AC Infinity. All you gotta do though is you gotta leave a comment, and you gotta make sure that you subscribe to AC Infinity's YouTube channel. You gotta make sure you're subscribed. That's 100%. And so they're gonna pick a winner of that. And what you want to see Teddy? A few people in the comments want to see Teddy and see how big he's getting. So I'm gonna go grab my dog real quick. He's gonna be like a little mascot of Scrog School, I guess. So pretty soon he's gonna be too big for me to pick up, and like he's already becoming a little menace. So let's get the little guy. Come here. Good boy. Come say hi. He's so patient out here. He just sits outside the door and waits for me. He's all by himself out there. He just chills. So this is Teddy. We all met him last time. Look at him. Good boy. He wants to go for a little run. Watch, I'll probably set him down. He'll go and take a big piss right over there. So let's go see what he does. You can see the floor. He hasn't pissed in here. He doesn't come in here often, to be honest with you guys, but he's almost too young to even shed. So, all right. That's it. Thank you guys for coming to Scrog School episode 2. Make sure you leave a comment for your chance to win a $100 gift card. Make sure you subscribe to AC Infinity. We're going to see you guys all not next week, but the following week. Until then, keep on tucking.